All right, so picking up where we left off, we went through meiosis and we created haploid cells. So these two up here are haploid. That term is haploid. And the symbol for it is 1N, just one of each chromosome. So the N number is unique to every organism. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not necessarily unique to every organism, but every organism does have an N number. Humans, for example, our N number is 23. Now you have 46 chromosomes in most your cells, because most your cells are 2N. We'll cover that in just a second. But the point of meiosis that we just covered a couple days ago is that we're going to split those pairs of chromosomes into just one each. One blue, one red. Not a pair of them anymore. And then depending on your sex, you're either going to go through oogenesis and create an egg cell, or you go through spermatogenesis and create a sperm cell. Again, there's some different things going on there. The egg cell is much larger. It has most of the nutrients, most of the organelles. And remember, when you go through the meiosis and that particular oogenesis, you're creating one egg and three what we call polar bodies, which is kind of like those tiny little worthless cells. Spermatogenesis is a little different. All the cells are viable, but they elongate and kind of grow this tail for swimming, mobility. Well, anyway, these two are going to meet up in a process called fertilization. So that's what we see happening here. Fertilization, you get this new cell, what we call a zygote. And at one point in time, we were all a zygote, one cell. The whole organism, the whole individual is just one cell. That is the fertilized egg, the zygote. And it doesn't stay that way for long. I think within like 48 hours, that one cell has divided and become like either 8 or 16 cells. So it's not, it's not one cell forever, but that's the first cell. That's where we all started as a zygote. Half of our DNA from our dad, half of our DNA from our mom. This cell is diploid. So again, keep throwing out those terms here. We've got haploid, we've got diploid. The symbol for that is 2N, and that's what I just mentioned. Again, whatever the N number is for a species. For fruit flies, the N number is 4. I say fruit flies, they were big in genetic development. We learned a lot about genetics by studying fruit flies. Fun, huh? Kind of hard. They just smell really good. We'll talk about it some other day. Humans, our N number is 23. We have 23 chromosomes, 2 of each, a pair of each, 46 total. 2 times 23. And there's our pair. Again, why do you have a pair? We call it a homologous pair. Why do you have a pair? Because you got one from mom and one of each chromosome from dad. Questions so far? Cool. All right. Real quick then, I wanted to go over something that was on the homework from, I think it was Friday, last e-learning Friday. It was due Tuesday night. Hopefully you guys have all done it. It was question 7 on the homework, and there's a typo, so don't worry if you did it wrong, if you made a mistake, or if you think you did it right, and then you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know. That's fine. I'm not going to grade it. Don't worry about it. But the number of gametic combinations, I'll go over what those are in just a second here.
You're off the screen.
Always, man. Thank you. The number of gametic combinations is found for a diploid organism by going 2 in. I say a diploid organism. Most organisms that we are familiar with are diploid, but it's possible, I've heard of some organisms being triploid. I don't know what that would mean. 3 of each chromosome would be 3 in. I'd have to have like another shade of red and another shade of blue. Even there are some plants, I believe, that can be, what's the term for it? I think it's tetraploidy. Tetra means 4. So tetraploidy is even possible. But just something to think about. You know, we got that. Did you guys watch the rover touchdown on Mars last week? Pretty cool. Yeah, it's up there. It's hoping to find proof of life up there. Might not actually find life itself, but just looking for certain chemicals that life as we know it would make, and that would be a suggestion that at least at one time there was. Which, always things to think about. Would those organisms be diploid? Would they be haploid? Would they be quadruploid? I mean, there's a lot of different questions out there regarding that kind of stuff. Anyway, back to what we're doing. Okay, so here's how we use that formula. Let's think through it at first here. Well, let's say we have an organism that just has 1 chromosome. We'll call it chromosome. We'll call gene A, and we'll say it's heterozygous. All right, that's pretty basic. This is like basic genetics here. How many different gametic combinations can this guy make? His N number is 1. His N number is 1. Yeah, and again, we don't even need the formula for this one, right? He can either make big A or he can make little a. 2 combinations, right? 2 gametic possibilities there, 2 allelic combinations. He can either pass on big A or he can pass on little a. Mathematically, again, 1 chromosome, a pair of that chromosome, though, yeah, there's 2 options. You can see them right there, big A, little a. How about, let's go up to 2 chromosomes. What if we had 2 homologous pairs? And let's make sure that they're heterozygous for both. So big A, big B, little b. Well, how many combinations are there now? And those of you who did the homework due tonight already, you guys are aware. You've done this. You've worked with this. Well, we could have big A, big B. That'd be 1 combination. We could have big A, little b. A second possible combination. We could have little a, big B. Or we could have little a, little b. How many combinations is that? Again, look at that. That's 2 chromosomes. Chromosome 1 with gene A on it. Now, why are there 2 A's? Well, because we're diploid. Diploid, 2 of each chromosome. 2 A chromosomes, 2 B chromosomes. So 2 squared, 4. And look, again, we don't need the formula for that. We know that there are 4 possible gametic combinations. What if we go up to an organism with 3 chromosomes? How many gametic combinations is that? It's not n squared, it's 2 to the n. Somebody, I don't know if you guys hearing, somebody said 9 here in class. That you're thinking n squared. It's not n squared, it's 2 to the n. Eight possible combinations that way. Think about that Punnett square. This one here was a 4x4. This one here just a 2x2. This one will be an 8x8. They take about an hour to fill out and then analyze. I've done them before. They're not fun. They're not fun. And that's only 3 chromosomes. What if we skip up to 10 chromosomes? An organism with an n number of 10. Huh, well, let's not do that one in our head. We got calculators, right? We've got calculators. La, la, la. 2, caret, and woo! 1,024 combinations of letters. And again, guys, think about this. That's just across the top. You know, if you're making a Punnett square, you have to have 1,024 just across the top. For its partner, going down the side, you need another 1,024. You guys would be here till you graduate filling that puppy out. It would be nuts. And guess what? That's not even half of the humans. Humans, n number 23. Two to the 23rd. Eight million 388,608 possibilities. And keep in mind, guys, that's just across the top. You'd have to have another 8,388,608 down the side. And then you'd have to fill them all in. I mean, to figure out how many different offspring there'd be, you'd have to square this. Ugh. Ugh. 10 to the 13th. Just so you guys can kind of have a familiarity, a billion is 10 to the 9th. 10 to the 12th, 10 to the 12th is a trillion. So we're talking about 70 trillion combinations. For humans, with our n number of 23. I'm just going to put lots. Genetic diversity. You ever heard you're a snowflake? It's true. True. Question. Everybody's good so far? Cool. Okay. Now, here's kind of the thing, though. When we're looking at those chromosomes, we're looking at those genes, we're assuming that it's one gene per chromosome. Gene or chromosome 1 has gene A. Chromosome 2 has gene B. Chromosome 3 has gene C. But here is the next little piece of notes. Many genes are on the same chromosome. These are known as linked genes. So what I mean by a linked gene, again, we'll picture one chromosome. And what if gene A is right there and gene B is right here? See how they're on the same chromosome now? This is actually really common, linked genes. In fact, it's so common, the average human chromosome has about 800 genes on it. So it's like 800 linked genes. Well, this flies in the face of Mendel's law of independent assortment, kind of, not really. The chromosomes definitely assort independently, but that doesn't necessarily mean genes will assort independently. If you inherited big A and big B together, guess what? They're stuck together. Kind of. Kind of. Kind of. That brings us to this next part. And this just blows my mind every time I think about it. This is incredible. All right, this is just, I don't know. Hopefully, I get through to the next 10 minutes or so how amazing this is. So, during prophase 1 of meiosis, remember that's the first part of meiosis 1, our homologous chromosomes form what we call a tetrad. You guys remember watching that video? I think it was Thursday last week when we didn't have school, canceled. There's a video that talked about the tetrad. Tetra means 4. Now it's really only 2 chromosomes, but they're in their X shape. They've already been through S phase. So because they're in their X shape, there's 4 chromatids. Tetra means 4. So that's where the word tetrad comes from. While they're in that tetrad formation, they can actually switch pieces, which is pretty incredible. James, you there? James, need to see you on camera. Or mark you absent. Get yourself on camera, James. Okay. What color do you guys want? Red? Blue? Could do green, I suppose. Just do basic black and white. I have one vote for black or white. That's it. That one person is going to act like a king if the rest of you guys don't vote. You're trying a democracy, no monarchy. Red, blue, green, black and white. All right, one vote for black, one vote for blue. Two votes for blue. Uh-oh. Okay, we're at 2-2 now.
Purple.
Not an Dave, you're going to be the person that writes in Mickey Mouse for president someday. Purple was not an option. I don't have enough shades of purple. You guys know when you vote, you can pencil in whomever you like. You don't have to select one of the two candidates. You can write down whoever you like for president. Third in most elections, the most presidential elections that we have, the third place winner is almost always Mickey Mouse. A lot of people pencil in Mickey Mouse. They don't like either of the candidates. Well, they do. They vote for Mickey Mouse, the third party Mickey Mouse. Yeah. Mickey Mouse win, or not win, but Mickey Mouse was often in the top of a presidential election. No. No. All right, guys, we're still tied at 2-2 here. Black and white and blue. We need someone to break the tie. Sorry, purple. No, not purple. I don't have no shade.
Blue.
What? Someone said yellow? No. Yellow also will not work.
Blue.
Basic blue. Someone said blue. Winner, blue. All right, we're doing blue. Okay. Look at that. The chromosome. It's a blue chromosome. One chromosome, but it's in that X shape. Remember, it's held together in the middle there, but it's in that X shape. It's in that X shape because it's already been through S phase. It was duplicated. It was copied during S phase. Here's its homologous pair. So same chromosome. If we're talking about humans here, we're talking about chromosome number 1 or number 2. Doesn't matter which. You can number it whatever you want. But these are the same chromosomes, the homologous pair. And we're saying that we are in the middle of prophase 1 here, and they're going to come together and form the tetrad. Here's our tetrad. And then here's what happens in that tetrad. You guys can see it here visually. This is crossing over. You can see why it's called crossing over too, I hope. And what this leads to then, guys, is incredible. Am I still on the page? So crossing over, you can see crossing over occur. You can see why it's called crossing over. There's homologous chromosomes. And you want to make sure that they are homologous chromosomes. You wouldn't want this happening in not homologous chromosomes. Then you might switch complete genes. But at least these guys have the same gene. Different alleles? Yeah, absolutely. Same genes? Yes. Same genes, different alleles. They can actually switch pieces. Guys, this is huge. These are brand new chromosomes that don't exist anywhere else on Earth. Those combinations are completely invented just for you. You might. Or they might be completely unique. Here, take a look. Take a look. If you're not seeing what I'm saying, how amazing, how incredible this is. You guys don't have to write this. You guys can be done. If you want to write this, that's fine, but you guys can be done. Let's look at a linked gene, which make up the chromosome here. Two linked genes. Well, yeah, two linked genes. Somebody throw out a trait. What trait do you want to look at? Eye color. What do you want the two alleles to be for eye color? Color. Brown and green eyes. Which one's dominant? Brown eyes. Okay. So let's say your mom gave you brown eyes. And then I need a link gene. So I need a second option here, another second trait to look at. We've got eye color.
Eyebrow.
Eyebrows. What are my two alleles here?
Brown and blonde.
I spell brow. Which one's dominant?
Oh, blonde.
Blonde is dominant? That's how I spell brows, right? Okay, good. So mom gives you brown eyes and blonde brows. Interesting. And let's say dad, your other chromosome, the homologous pair, dad gave you couldn't choose blue, that would actually start with a B. Green eyes and brown brows. So basically, since these are linked genes, your options are you can either pass on mom's chromosome, brown eyes and blonde brows, or you can pass on dad's chromosome. With crossing over, they crossed over, they switch pieces, you can invent a brand new chromosome. We've got brand new chromosome because of crossing over. You can pass on a combination of genes you didn't even inherit. Your child got a combination of alleles from both mom and dad, grandparents of the kid. You don't have this chromosome. This chromosome doesn't exist for you. I mean, it does, but only in your gametes, only in your reproductive cells. It doesn't exist for you in your everyday normal cell. There's no possible way you personally could have that combination, but your kid can. You can pass it on. You can pass on a chromosome that you yourself don't even have. Isn't that incredible? You invented a brand new chromosome. And then here's the thing. There's no telling how many times this can happen. From what I've read, crossing over usually occurs 1 or 2 times, but it doesn't have to occur at all. Look at these outside chromosomes. They stay the same. You might just pass on the regular old brown eyes, blonde brows. No says you have to pass one of these on. You might. Or again, maybe it happens once, maybe it happens twice. Maybe it happens 4 times. Maybe you get these combinations of alleles that, man, no one anywhere ever has even thought to put together. And from what I've read, it could happen up to 7 or 8 times on one chromosome, or none at all. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. It's nuts. You can make some really, really crazy combinations. So in addition to the fact that you have to do a Punnett square that's 8 million by 8 million, you can also get chromosome combinations that no one anywhere has ever had before. It's incredible. If you've never heard that you are a snowflake, it's true. It's true. The number of possibilities for genetic combination, what we call genetic diversity, is huge. Huge. Gigantic. Gigantic, gigantic, gigantic.
Mr. Richardson?